You could call Steelheads Alley just another bar, but that's like trying to catch a home run off the bat of Ken Griffey Jr. You're not even getting close.
I don't think there's anything like this that's happening anywhere else in the U.S.
That's Rodney Hines, co-owner of Metier Brewing, whose beers are featured at Steelheads Alley and the Hatback Bar and Grille, the new and eagerly anticipated tap room and restaurant that opened this season in the old Pyramid Brewery building across from T-Mobile Park. But along with every meal here, you'll get a big helping of history.
And you're going to get your curiosity sparked about the Negro Baseball League, about the Latino All-Star Game, about women who've been left out who are now playing professional softball. You're going to learn all of that. This
space celebrates the Seattle Steelheads, part of the first professional black baseball league on the West Coast, the West Coast Negro Baseball Association.
We're going to be telling all of that rich history.
Hines, one of our state's very few professional black brewers, teamed up with the Mariners, local artists, and historians to build a unique space that tells the story of the Steelheads and other almost forgotten teams of our region's past.
The fact that there is a bar that's dedicated to a team, like I'm getting emotional just thinking about it, but there's a bar dedicated to a team that was playing in the Negro Baseball League. Like, we should see more of this happening across the U.S.
But just making this happen in Seattle was a bit of a miracle in itself.
There's some great stories that are told here visually, but it's the tip of the iceberg. That's
superstar baseball historian Dave Eskenazi, whose collection makes up a majority of the photos and artifacts you'll see in the 150-item Steelheads Alley display.
Their story actually starts in 1944, the origin of the Steelheads, as they were originally the Harlem Globetrotters traveling baseball team.
The barnstorming bunch joined the West Coast Negro League in 1946, but not for long. That same year, the Brooklyn Dodgers signed Jackie Robinson, which broke Major League Baseball's color barrier.
And that just hordes of talented players would follow him to the major league, so that spelled the demise of the West Coast Negro Baseball Association.
A challenge which Eskenazi and others helped turn into an opportunity by adding to this display other pieces from the past of Pacific Northwest baseball, dating back to the 1890s.
There's so much great baseball and athletic history from underrepresented communities in this region, again, going back 120 years.
And for Karen Jones, the history is personal.
Well, I got my little scooter and nothing was going to keep me away. I couldn't wait to get down here.
Karen's grandpa was none other than Powell Barnett, who she'll proudly tell you was a musician and the founder of the Seattle Royal Giants, another Negro League team displayed at Steelheads Alley. Plus, later he founded the Northwest Umpire Association. The Seattle Park that bears his name is less than 2 miles away from the site of the old Six Stadium, where he umpired games for Seattle Rainiers baseball.
I didn't know being with him in my younger age was going to lead to something of this great legacy.
And it's a legacy that Karen hopes to keep adding to.
Here we have Jackson Street, names him the Man of the Year. It's history, and people need to know about it.
She's brought articles and photos of her grandfather not only to Steelheads Alley, but to an archive in Seattle known as the Black Heritage Society of Washington State, located in the Mohi Resource Center.
History does not repeat, but it rhymes. So it continues, it builds.
The president of the BHS, Stephanie Johnson Tolliver, is a fourth-generation Seattleite who oversees a massive collection of Black history, mostly at this archive in Georgetown, but also right in front of fans at Steelheads Alley.
So that when they look into these photographs, they'll want to go a little bit deeper and find out more about the history of Black baseball.
When you do, you'll see players who survived segregation and racism and fought for integration and acceptance on and off the field, challenges that represent a lot more than just a game.
It's inclusive history. We're just a part of a broader and bigger history, a national history, not just a Washington State history, but it informs the nation.
It's part of the Pacific Northwest's past that present-day Mariner fans are lining up to see.
because it extends beyond baseball. You know, it's the community, and you're back to the community, which is what sports is really supposed to be about.
Heroes of our national pastime, triumphing against the odds. Sound familiar?
The pitch from Acevedo. A drive deep to right field, down the line. The Mariners win this game 2-1.
Steelheads Alley is here to add a few more highlights to make sure we never forget.
I mean, I think it goes back to knowing history to give us guidance for the future.
You know, if we're not collecting the history, who's going to do it?
There's a lot of stories that they've started to tell in this space, and there's a lot more to come.